Mark, 15 seconds until airtime.
Oregon is going to the Final Four.
The following is a Learfield presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.
And Oregon is going to play in the national championship game.
It's time for Tip-Off Tuesday.
There's no magic formula.
Eric Williams, three, good at the shot clock buzzer. Young all the way to the basket with two hands.
We're going to have to get ready for everything.
Ducks get it to Richardson. His three is good.
And one of the things that I'm really proud of next game attitude.
Sedona Prince follows, scores, and is fouled. Perry steps into a long three and hits it. Solidly lay it in. Ducks take the lead.
Down the stretch, we made the plays, and that's what a good team's got to do.
This is Tip-Off Tuesday on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield. Let's talk Oregon Ducks basketball. From the Country Financial Studio, alongside Terry Jonz, here's Joey Mack.
Thank you. We've got Kelly Graves coming up today. Dana Altman, after what was a really good weekend for Oregon men's basketball, they're back at home this week starting on Thursday against Stanford, and the women, unfortunately, Terry, didn't quite go their way this weekend, but it's a quick turnaround. It's like the baseball mentality. You got to get right back up and play another game tomorrow.
Yeah, it is. It's right away. Going to Washington State later today, and we'll be there. A noon tip-off tomorrow in Pullman, so it's get ready for it, Duck fans. And then it's rivalry week, Friday up in Corvallis, Sunday at Matthew Knight Arena against the Beavers.
11:30 is the pregame show tomorrow with Terry Jonz. And I think that, Terry, I think we should go through the schedule because some things have changed here as we're live on Tuesday afternoon. Talked with the coaches earlier in the week. So women's basketball tomorrow, 11:30 pregame, noon tip in Pullman. Oregon men's basketball then, 6 o'clock at Matthew Knight Arena on Thursday. The Ducks will also play Cal Saturday at 1 o'clock at Matthew Knight Arena. And then, to finish up the men's schedule, Valentine's Day, you can have your date night at Matthew Knight Arena, and it's a date with the Cougars. Washington State is coming to town for a 6 o'clock tip. So for the men, Thursday at 6, Saturday at 1, Monday at 6. Women, of course, I mentioned tomorrow, and then 8 o'clock in Corvallis, and then you're at home on Sunday.
Yeah, what time is it? I don't even know on Sunday. Is it 1 o'clock?
On Sunday, you're at 1 o'clock.
Yeah, okay.
You're the best pregame show to that big football game coming up, right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, there we go. The Ducks have a chance. You know, I know some of the fans, I was reading in social media, you know, you think the world's coming to an end. They are tied for second place at 7-3. Now, we'd like to have them a little bit higher, have a little second all alone. It didn't happen that way, but they've got a chance. Now, Washington State's just a game behind Oregon in the standings. So tomorrow, they're going to want to beat the Ducks and tie it up with Oregon. Arizona's idle until the weekend games. So a lot of things can happen. And then 2 games against the Beavers. The Beavers are only 1 game in the loss column behind the Ducks, but 3 down from the win column because they haven't played as many games, and they're going to be looking to take down the Ducks as well. But the Ducks also have an opportunity to get some separation from the teams down below and make it between them and Arizona for second place. And, and then who knows? We'll see what happens.
And the other news today, Oregon women's basketball will have a non-conference game next Wednesday against UCLA. A 4 o'clock tip at Matthew Knight Arena. It's a non-conference game because that game that was originally announced as a postponement between Oregon and UCLA, it's now a forfeit for UCLA. And so this is actually a non-conference game. And Kelly Graves, talking with him, it sounds like they just want to get games. They want to be able to play some games.
Yeah, he feels like, especially when they're in that eight straight winning streak before the trip to Arizona, I mean, they were playing better. They need reps. This team still needs reps. It's still a relatively young team, and the ones that are a little older, they're inexperienced. They haven't gotten enough reps, and he feels like game reps are better than the practice reps, and you could see them improving. Now they took a couple steps back. It's that old book, 3 steps forward, 2 steps back. That's what happened to them this weekend. But I was just came from practice before here for the show, and they're very spirited. They're confident. You know, they're trying to show it. They're going to have to show it tomorrow. They're going to be playing a tough Washington State team that has 5 starters back, and they're very good, and they're a team that's on the rise. So Oregon going to have to make a statement tomorrow, and hopefully they will. And
for the women, this is a critical stretch, and for the men, it's a very critical stretch, everybody. So for men's basketball, 5 more home games 4 more road games for the Ducks, and they've got 3 of those home games here. One of them is against a team in Washington State that's at 7-3, sitting right behind the Ducks at 8-3 in the Pac-12 standings. Arizona's 10-1, then UCLA and Oregon are tied for second at 8-3, but technically right now Oregon owns that tiebreaker with UCLA, and the Ducks do get the Bruins one more time. Now, it sure would be nice if Arizona would drop a game here and help the Ducks out, because the Ducks only get Arizona once this year for men's basketball. They only get them once, and it's at the McHale Center. Tough place to play. The women were just there. They know how tough it is to play at Arizona. Always a tough matchup. But for these games against Stanford, who's 7-5 in conference, and Cal, who's 2-11, home games for the Ducks, got to take care of business. This weekend, Oregon could pick up its 10th conference win already, and we're not even to Valentine's Day yet, which is saying something after what was, frankly, a little bit of a rough start to the season for Dana Altman's crew, but they have gotten things going here lately, and they're learning from things. They're learning things in wins, which is a good thing. Yeah. Right? That's what you want.
The master of the Rubik's Cube.
He really is. Always finds a way to line it up. So for Oregon men's basketball, they're sitting tied in second place right now. Got to keep winning. They just got to take care of business, and that's what we're going to talk about with Coach Altman coming up. Coach Graves, Coach Altman. It's a jam-packed tip-off Tuesday. He's Terry Jonz. I'm Joey Mack. Talking with Dana Altman coming up on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
It's time to play Perfect Food Pairings, brought to you by Mountain Dew. This dish pairs perfectly with the bold citrus kick of Mountain Dew.
Oh, street tacos.
Sorry, that is not the answer we're looking for.
Flamin' Hot Cheetos.
Sorry, that is also not the answer.
What the heck?
Is it chicken wings?
Correct.
What? Wait a second.
Yeah, hold on. Mountain Dew pairs perfectly with street tacos.
And Flamin' Hot Cheetos.
This show is so lame.
This show is not lame.
Yeah, you're lame.
Nothing pairs perfectly with food like Mountain Dew. Do the Dew.
Ready to get back in the game? Great news. The movement experts at Proactive Physical Therapy Specialists can help you find relief and results and keep you off the sidelines. With 15 convenient locations across Portland, contact Proactive Physical Therapy Specialists today at proactivepts.com to see a physical therapist. Proactive Physical Therapy Specialists, a proud partner of Oregon Athletics and trusted choice for keeping Duck fans in the game.
You're listening to Tip Off Tuesday on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
People do some pretty cool things in their 40s and 50s, like go back to college, learn to skateboard. Okay, maybe that one's not for everybody, but saving for retirement is. At aceyourretirement.org, you can get on track with your retirement savings no matter your age. Just have a free 3-minute chat with the friendly digital retirement coach, Avo, and receive personalized tips to help boost your savings. Start chatting with Avo today at aceyourretirement.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
Papa, why can't we telegraph while riding a horse?
Son, there ain't no one to blame but Jeffro. He was riding old Betsy the Stallion, tip-tapping away at his telegraph, when blam, ran right into the side of the saloon.
Well, if Jeffro can't do it, neither should you. Don't text and drive.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Tip Off Tuesday. Oregon men's basketball coming off a mountain sweep. First time that the Ducks have ever swept the mountain schools in the Pac-12 era. And that just tells you how tough that road trip has been. No doubt about it. Now they're getting ready for home games. Going to need you, fans. 6 o'clock, Stanford is in town. The Ducks getting ready to take on the Cardinal. So we look back on the weekend that was and had a great conversation earlier today with head coach Dana Altman.
Coach, coming off a mountain road trip and the sweep, let's talk a little bit about what you liked from your team. The win over Colorado, the win over Utah. Felt great, I bet, to get that win on the road at those two places that have been tough to play over the last few years.
Well, the best thing is you just you find a way to win. And at this time of year, that's important quality. But the Colorado game, our defense the second half was really good. Guys really locked in both on the zone and man. They scored 16 points. We got turnovers, deflections. Really pleased with our defensive effort the second half against Colorado. Utah, we did a lot of good things, but then almost gave it away. You know, I really disappointed in the way we finished. The guys are disappointed. You know, they know, we had a 10-point lead with 2 2.5 minutes to go. You got to finish that thing. And, we had 3 really bad turnovers. So hopefully we can learn from that. We kind of made the same mistakes against UCLA, so we didn't learn there. I'm hoping the second lesson will give us a little better feel. But we hit big free throws. Eric made a really good pass to Jacob for a basket. So, we have some plays where we throw it long. That one wasn't one of them, but Eric really made a good play.
Coach, I wanted to ask you about a couple different things there. First, I'll start with Eric making that play and Jacob Young's quickness. We've talked so much about how his quickness is a real weapon for you. I felt like looking like a wide receiver streaking up the field there. That was where his quickness really helped you guys out in a great pass.
Well, we'd been throwing it short, and I told Eric if anybody wasn't wide open to throw it long, just to give something different. I wish Jacob would have had another step. It was a little close for comfort there, but Eric made a really good play. And so, but Jacob is quick. He's fast. I wish he'd use it a little bit more. Sometimes he wants to play like he's 6'6" rather, than the quick point guard that he is.
Talking about the free throws, Coach, I feel like this has been a topic you and I have discussed throughout the course of the season, but you did hit some big free throws. I know maybe you'd like to see a little higher percentage overall in the season, but you feel like you're seeing improvements there at the free throw line?
Well, I think the guys are focused in on it, but we hit the big ones there down the stretch and shot them all right at Colorado. So, we're getting better, I think. Not shooting a lot of them, but, we got to get our bigs. Dante hit 2 in the first half, but he's got to get posted up stronger. We got to get it in there. We got to get fouled more. We got to get to the line a little bit more. But all in all, I think we're making progress in all areas. I wish it would have came a little quicker, some of the things, but we're, 5 weeks to go, 4 in the regular season and a tournament week. We just got to keep getting better, and hopefully it'll pay off for us.
Talking about getting better, Coach, Will Richardson, I wanted to ask you about him because it's the first time we've had you on the Coaches Show here in about a month, and boy, what he's done, I feel like, growth-wise. Just put it into words for fans, how far Will has come over the course of this season.
Well, Will's the biggest reason we've made the jump. And not only his on-court play, but his leadership. I mean, he's talking to the guys, he's getting them connected. And that, we were really missing that. I mean, November and December, you talk about 5 individuals and, not playing together and connected as a team or connected with the coaching staff. But Will has really, tried to connect everybody. And that's where your experience pays off. And he's had some really good examples over the years. Eugene last year was great. Chris Duarte was good. Peyton was good. Dylan Brooks was great. But Will has had a couple guys here that, he's really done a good job. So not only what he's produced on the floor, but his leadership off and in huddles is really gave the team a connection. And it's given us, some fight out of timeouts, some connection out of timeouts, some focus out of timeouts to get a stop, to get a rebound. He's done a good job for us.
Coach, I remember we talked last year a little bit about this. Will led the Pac-12 in three-point field goal percentage as a sophomore, but didn't take as many as maybe some other guys. But then this year he's been doing it again. He's been first, second, or third pretty much all season long in terms of three-point field goal percentage. What was the development like there, Coach? I remember you said to me you maybe wanted him to take a few more shots. It seems like he's taken a few more from 3, and he's hitting them still for you.
Well, he's shooting a tremendous percentage. I think it's 46 and from 3, and as a coach, when you see that, you want to get him more. But, he's being selective. Other than the one he shot from the logo, he's being pretty selective. And, again, he's just playing well, and so I'm just leaving him alone. You can overcoach a guy. When they're playing well, just leave them alone. And let them keep playing. And, we try to give them little things to help them out a little bit, run a couple things to get him some shots. But, just let the game come to you, keep playing, and don't overcoach him. Just leave him alone.
What was going through your mind when you let that one go from the logo?
Well, I told those guys they're all trying to get rid of me, whether it's that or the turnovers late. They figured if they just drive me nuts, that I'll quit. But, I was shocked because there was time on the shot clock. And he says he didn't realize he was that far out. But, he hit it, so you just leave it alone.
I like that. Coach Altman joining us. Coach, talking about your entire backcourt, you mentioned Jacob a little bit, maybe wanting to use that quickness a little more. Davion Harmon, too. How much has the development of those guys and the chemistry of the backcourt maybe also taken some pressure off of Will Richardson? You got a lot of guys that can handle the ball. I know a few turnovers late over the last weekend, but you do have some guys that can really take care of the basketball for you.
No doubt. Those three guys, have done a great job of improving and playing together. And Jacob handled a little bit more, doesn't wear Will out as much. He doesn't have to bring it every time and face pressure all the time because Jacob's bringing it. So, no, those guys have played well together. Davion's handled it okay. We've got to do a little better job of penetrating and kicking to get some shots, but those three guys have done a good job.
Dana Altman, we're going to continue with Oregon men's basketball head coach. Just those guards, I know they made some mistakes against Utah there at the end, but that's why the Ducks are winning games here down the stretch lately. At least that's my opinion talking about it. Coming up, we're going to hear more from Coach Altman at Tip-Off Tuesday here in the Country Financial Studio on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Once a duck, always a duck. That's OCCU. Since 1956, OCCU has been the credit union serving the University of Oregon community. From the bright yellow Duck debit card to the Duck Visa Rewards card. If you're a Duck, you belong at OCCU, where you'll find fewer fees, higher savings rates, and lower rates on loans, and lots of fellow Duck fans. Go Ducks. Join OCCU. Learn more at myoccu.org/Go Ducks.
Larger than life is truly an understatement in family favorite Clifford the Big Red Dog, now available at Redbox. When Emily discovers her little red puppy has grown 10 feet overnight, she turns to her eccentric Uncle Casey for help. But when a mad scientist tries to capture the playful pup, it takes the whole neighborhood to hide Clifford as they race across the city. Get ready for the incredible laugh-out-loud comedy that is big fun for the entire family. Watch Clifford the Big Red Dog and make it a Redbox night. Visit redbox.com for all the ways to watch.
You're listening to Tip Off Tuesday on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
GOAT, G-O-A-T, acronym, stands for Greatest of All Time. As in, spaghetti sandwiches for dinner? They're my fave. Dad, you're the GOAT.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Is that a faucet running?
That's not a faucet. That's a river rushing through the forest. Forest rivers provide over 100 million people with clean water to drink.
What? I can't hear you because of the vacuum.
That's not a vacuum. That's the trees in the forest, cleaning up the air we breathe.
I didn't know the trees were so amazing.
Yep, and the forest gives us shade, trees to climb.
That's awesome. Let's go explore some more.
Visit the forest today and enjoy all it does, just for you. To learn more about the forest and find one near you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Back in the Country Financial Studio, Joey Mack along with Terry Jonz had the chance earlier to catch up with Dana Altman, and we started to look back, and now we're going to look ahead a little bit more, talking about what he needs out of the front court in particular. I think that they were the difference over the last couple of weeks, and really, in my opinion, I don't think that the front court had a great weekend. The guards kind of helped Oregon out down the stretch. Going to need a lot more, and the depth needs to be on display for the Ducks. We continue with Oregon men's basketball head coach Dana Altman.
I want to ask you about your front court too, Coach. You mentioned maybe getting to the line a little bit more. What's the next step for N'Faly Dante? We've talked a lot about just getting in shape, but he has all the skill in the world. Still your leading rebounder. What's next for Dante?
Well, he didn't have a good road trip. I'm disappointed. He had been playing good. Oregon State game, I thought he played great. He didn't have a good road trip. And, we're going to have to get back and practice, get ready got 5 games coming up here in 10 days. He's going to have to play better, he and Frank played their tail off against Oregon State, and that's the reason we were able to win an easy ball game like that. And they didn't give us much on the road. So I'm going to get after them in practice here, and, we got to get more out of them. And they're good guys. They're good players. They want to help the team. Now, don't get me wrong, but they just didn't have a good road trip. So we're going to get back to work and hopefully get a lot more rebounds out of them, a lot more block shots. We went on the road. We didn't block a shot at Colorado. We didn't block a shot at Utah, and that's after blocking 8. Now, part of that is both of those had 5 men that played away from the basket, and we had to worry about Batty shooting threes, and, so that's part of it. But we still got to be more active in challenging shots, and not only those guys, but Quincy and Eric. So just got to get better. And like I said, we got 5 weeks to do it. This time of year, there's teams that are coasting and think they've accomplished something. There's teams that are hungry and want to get better, and we've got to be one of those teams. And it's kind of hard. It's a long season. We're starting our 5th month here, but guys got to really focus on what's important.
Coach, the ebb and flow of the season, I feel like, is something that often gets lost. I think as fans, we can sit here and maybe overreact to the low and the high, and that's what you guys have to do, right? Is sort of navigate that entire roller coaster. Do you feel like that this is a team that now, because there's the experience going into this portion of the season where they do have to stay hungry, is that something that you have to coach as much compared to, say, a younger team? I mean, these are guys that want to be in this situation, right?
Well, every sport's different. You got football with a 12-game schedule. We got 31. You got baseball with 50. So when you're playing 31 games, there's not going to be 31 perfect performances. And you shoot for the best and hope for the best, but down deep, 31, just doesn't happen. And so on those nights that you're not playing well offensively, things aren't flowing well for you, how do you win games? You got to gut them out. You got to guard. You got to rebound. And I know our fans get tired of it, and everybody's kind of offensive focused. But if you only focus on the offensive end, there's no way you're going to have, success over the long term, because some nights the ball just doesn't go in for whatever reason. And whether it's good defense or you're missing open shots or you're missing free throws, the offense doesn't always flow. But defensively and on the boards, you can give that effort and try to keep yourself in games. And, winning ugly is a lot better than, scoring a bunch of points and getting beat at the buzzer by 1. Yeah. So, and I keep telling our guys that, there's a lot of different ways to win games. You just can't be upset when the ball's not going in and you're not scoring. I know that's what your families want, your girlfriend wants, but there's a lot of different ways to win games.
Winning ugly is much better than losing pretty. I think that we can all agree on that front. A couple more for you, Coach. Just talking about the Pac-12 standings, you guys are sitting in a good spot. You're right there behind Arizona, and then UCLA. You guys are tied right now. You own the tiebreaker. Does any of that matter to you right now? I mean, or is it just, hey, we got to go win games?
No, we just got to win games. We should be focused on Stanford, nothing else. They beat us at their place. It's hard if you get swept by somebody to finish ahead of them. I expressed that to our guys going to Colorado. I said, hey, the past doesn't matter. Nothing matters except right now. And they beat us at our place. And if they beat us twice, it's hard to finish in front of them, you know, and that's all you talk about. And the same thing with Stanford now. You know, they got us at their place. You know, we can't let somebody beat us twice. You know, so there's got to be that sense of urgency there. And I hope that's all they're focused on, you know, because, you know, Stanford's a really talented team. Man, Ingram's an NBA player. You know, they're just good, and very talented team. And we're going to have to play really well.
Lastly, Coach, I wanted to ask you just about the importance of having a good home crowd for the homestand. It really helps you guys, especially against a matchup tough team in Stanford, and it's going to be the first time that you guys face Cal. Fans will help you.
Absolutely. And I'm not on social media or anything, but I did make a comment during the press conference just how much the fans met against Oregon State. It was our best crowd of the year, and Baylor game, you know, we had a good crowd, an energetic crowd, kept us in that game even when we faltered a little bit. You know, it makes a tremendous difference, you know, and college basketball is a home court sport. And if you got that home court, and it's, you know, most of it's the students, Joey, you know, those students, when they get into it, it just gets everybody, you know, going. So I want to thank them for helping us against Oregon State, because they really did a great job. And we've got 5 home games left. And, you know, I know everybody will be excited about UCLA and USC because of their rankings, but these other 3 are just as important. And so we need your help against Stanford. We need your help against Cal. And next Monday night against Washington State, another team that's ahead of us in the net. You know, we got 3 big home games coming up, and then we go on the road to the Arizona schools, come back, play the Southern California schools, and then go to Washington. I mean, we got 9 games left, and going to be a tough stretch for us, but the home court advantage for those 5 games we got would really, really help us.
Well, Coach, thanks for always taking the time. I really do appreciate it, and best of luck. Look forward to catching up with you before that Stanford matchup, and let's go get them at home, huh? This is what you play for, right?
Absolutely. It's that time of year, and our guys are excited, and we just need your help. I hope everybody comes out and gives us a little boost here.
Pit crew, be there early. Stanford, 6 o'clock. Big-time matchup for the men. So 6 o'clock on Thursday, 1 o'clock on Saturday, and then next Monday at 6 o'clock, the Ducks playing Stanford, Cal, Washington State in that order. Now, let's hear from Kelly Graves coming up next. Huh?
You know, speaking of the crowd, crowd at home at Matthew Knight for both the men and the women, you want to see what happens to a team when Oregon played at Arizona, 10,400. That's what can happen to a team. That's the effect that you have. All right, Kelly Graves coming up next here on Tip-Off Tuesday. Straight ahead after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Dear winter, you can't stop a new 2022 Toyota. No matter the weather, the Camry all-wheel drive comes out to play. Snowy hills don't stand a chance against the RAV4, and everyone's comfy in the Highlander. See you in the snow. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
You know that sound anywhere. It's the crisp crunch of that first nacho chip. With its perfect cheese to sour cream ratio sitting atop a layer of delicious beans, it's a sip away from perfection. That's what we're looking for. Add a delicious, refreshing Pepsi and we've achieved absolute nacho nirvana. Because while you can pile those nachos high with every spicy, cheesy, savory topping, there's no topping a cool Pepsi finish. Nachos, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
Dear winter, you can't stop a new 2022 Toyota. No matter the weather, the Camry all-wheel drive comes out to play. Snowy hills don't stand a chance against the RAV4, and everyone's comfy in the Highlander. See you in the snow. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
This is Tip-Off Tuesday on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
You're not too cool for me. And in return, I reciprocate that sentiment. I'll never be too cool for you. I was a man with a plan, but now I'm a dad with a decree, and you can't take that from me. Please let it be noted that I told my job they can dock my pay. Right now, it's just too important to take you to school every day. I want to be legendary for you. I want you to puff out your chest when you go to school, the same way I do. I walk taller because of you, because I found everything to live for.
That's dedication. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Right now, our country feels divided, but there's a place where people are coming together.
I was nervous to talk to someone so different than me.
Me too. Love Has No Labels and One Small Step are helping people with different political views, beliefs, and experiences connect through conversation, and it feels good.
This conversation gives me hope.
It gives me a lot of hope, too. Take a step toward bringing our country and your community together. Start a conversation at lovehasnolabels.com/onesmallstep. A message from StoryCorps, Love Has No Labels, and the Ad Council.
Hi, everybody. Terry and Joey. Tip-Off Tuesday. We turn to women's basketball, and head coach Kelly Graves got a chance to sit down with him yesterday morning. The Kelly Graves interview brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. Let's hear from KG. Well, Coach, the weekend, obviously, to understate, I guess, but it wasn't what you wanted down in the desert. Tough place to go, tough teams to play, tough crowd faced certainly on Friday night in Arizona. But give a comment on the weekend.
UGLY.
UGLY.
That was an ugly weekend, buddy. We played ugly basketball. We didn't, yeah, you're right. It was tough. Those are two good teams, physical, tough places to play. We just didn't play good basketball. I thought we defended well enough, just offensively. I don't know. We didn't shoot. Put us in a, freezer to heat us up. That's how bad we were shooting the ball. And, it just didn't have as much passion. We didn't play with as much passion as we normally do. It's just a tough weekend. It's a long season. It happens. We, won 8 straight going into this trip. And then, the circumstances weren't great on the first game, going down on game day. And that, just kind of breaks up your rhythm. It's not an excuse for losing the game. And they're a good team. I don't think many people figured we were going to win that game anyway, when you just look at it realistically. But it was kind of the way we lost, turning the ball over, not shooting the ball well. And then we let them have some runs, get on some runs that buried us. But the game yesterday was just, that's one I was really more disappointed in against Arizona State. We just didn't do the things that we needed to do to win the game.
The charter was supposed to leave on Thursday, get there late afternoon or so. It's tough to get from Eugene to Tucson, and but it didn't happen. Didn't get there till almost. Well, you missed shoot around the next day. It was 1:45, 2 o'clock before we landed and got there, and you played at 8. But like you say, no excuses. But it's tough. But there is a rhythm to a road trip. The food that they eat, the sleep, everything. And it was thrown off.
Yeah, it was thrown off. Normally you get there the night before. We usually leave in the late afternoons or afternoons just so they can go to class the day before. We try to miss as little class as possible. And but you get in the night before. You watch a little film before you go to bed. So you really have that. The last thing in your brain is the team you're playing the next day. And then you get up, breakfast, game day, watch a little bit more film, go to shoot around. You get a feel for the, for the court, and then a little nap time, in the afternoon. So there's a rhythm to it, and it was disrupted. And now that's not an excuse for performing the way we did, but again, it's you can understand it a little bit.
Yeah, you say film before you go to bed. Is there a psychology to that the last thing you see, you're thinking about?
Yeah,
you go to sleep, it might be in your subconscious a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that when I was a student, I remember a professor telling me that, and it's stuck with me all these years. When you have a test that next day, get a good night's sleep. But the last thing you do is, you can study before you go to bed. You have that fresh in your mind, and you wake up, and you've maybe retained a little bit more. I don't know. It sounded good. I'm no psychologist or whatever. I don't even know what that field would fall under. But, I just think there's that rhythm.
Yeah. Well, you've coached for 30 years. I think you've been pretty successful. So I think you got a handle on things pretty well.
Yeah, I'm almost at 900 games as a college head coach, which is crazy to think about. That's a lot of games, man.
And won a lot of them. That won a lot of them. Handling the crowd, it was the first experience. Maybe Indy Rogers has come to Eugene and faced the Knight Arena crowd and faced
Which, by the way, she had not.
Oh, she hadn't?
Because her sophomore year was COVID year, and her freshman year we only played at the LAs, so she had never actually
she hadn't even done that either. Okay,
yeah,
so
but go ahead, make your point.
Yeah, just that for the whole team to face an opponent's crowd like that. I mean, they've played in front of Matthew Knight, a crowd that's for you, and then you go against 10,413, I think it was, that they don't like you very much.
Yeah, they were into it that night. Yeah, they were into it. And it can be tough. But we got off to a pretty good start in that game, so I don't think it initially affected us. But I think a crowd affects the home team more. You don't get tired, And then when you go on runs, which, you saw the board before the game, limit their runs. Maybe a basket or two, but if you give up 3 baskets in a row and a couple off steals or turnovers, and that gets the crowd rolling. And when you play in front of a crowd like teams do here, you can't let them get going because that really energizes the home team, and it did that night.
And it makes the visitors maybe press a little bit. If you're getting behind a little bit, you feel like you got to make a big play.
And it hurts in communication.
Yeah.
When we're a team that needs to run some sets, right? And when you're early in the game, in the first half, your offensive basket is at the other end.
Right.
It's hard to hear.
Yep. And
so you might call dive, okay, and we have a signal for it as well, but they might hear high. And high is a middle ball screen. Dive is a series of, cross screens and some other actions. And, so there's miscommunication. And there were times when we were a little disjointed.
Along with that, trying to hear. I mean, at Arizona State yesterday, as we're recording this on Monday, but the band they always put the band right by where we're the bench.
Yeah.
And I always figure you're going to be hoarse by the end of the game trying to just in the huddle. And because during the breaks, the band is just blaring in your ears. I can hardly hear myself sometimes talking coming back from a break. Is there any effect to that?
Well, there is. I mean, usually you can hear in a timeout. It's just sometimes annoying. But there are schools that do it that way. We don't, but there are schools that do that. I remember Montana. I used to play when we would coach up there. They would have they were literally almost in your huddle. Yeah. They were so close. And I used to have some good give and take with them, too. I'd always say, you guys couldn't get into Gonzaga, huh? So this is where you ended up, and on like that.
Coach Graves is almost always in a good mood. He wasn't quite on the way back from Arizona. That one hit him pretty hard, and the team pretty hard, the players. It was pretty quiet when we got on the bus. But, Coach, he has to process it. And once he does, it's moving forward, and that's the way he works, and that's the way the teams need to be. We'll hear more from Coach Graves, brought to you by Toyota, coming up after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Once a duck, always a duck. That's OCCU. Since 1956, OCCU has been the credit union serving the University of Oregon community. From the bright yellow duck debit card to the duck Visa rewards card. If you're a duck, you belong at OCCU, where you'll find fewer fees, higher savings rates, and lower rates on loans, and lots of fellow duck fans. Go Ducks. Join OCCU. Learn more at myoccu.org/Go Ducks.
Ready to get back in the game? Great news. The movement experts at Proactive Physical Therapy Specialists can help you find relief and results and keep you off the sidelines. With 15 convenient locations across Portland, contact Proactive Physical Therapy Specialists today at proactivepts.com to see a physical therapist. Proactive Physical Therapy Specialists, a proud partner of Oregon Athletics and trusted choice for keeping Duck fans in the game.
You're listening to Tip Off Tuesday on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
When you went car shopping, you meant business. You ace vehicle history searches and test drives. You out-salesman the salesman. Now you've got your wheels. If you manage that, you can get your retirement plan on track. Visiting aceyourretirement.org can help. With 401k tips and smart saving strategies, you'll have the info you need to get more for your future. Go to aceyourretirement.org, because when it comes to speeding past financial challenges, you're an ace. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Look out, world, we're getting strong. The future's here and we belong. She can STEM, she can do more. Like build a rocket and watch it soar. Or clean the oceans and make the world a better place. Oh, she can STEM, so can you. Find a cure, invent something new. There's no challenge in the world that she can't face. She can STEM.
Learn more at She Can STEM. A message brought to you by the Ad Council.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Tip-Off Tuesday. It's Terry and Joey, and we continue with women's basketball. Kelly Graves. Let's see part 2. Both teams, Arizona's, they both play a similar type defense, getting into you. You know, the refs aren't going to call them all, and it works for them, obviously. But how tough, as you know, coming in, I mean, you got Arizona State at home, you got Arizona at home. But then you go on the road, and it was different. But how tough is it to play against those teams? It's you know, they speed you up. Everything is accelerated because they're right on you.
Well, and listen, it's an area we've got to get better. We didn't handle the pressure well. And what happens with us, where we get in where we had trouble this weekend, we're starting the offense so far away from the basket. Yeah. So, you know, most offenses you try to initiate it through. We run a horn set, so does 90% of the other teams in the country. So where you're hitting maybe a post player around that elbow area. Well, we're catching it beyond the three-point line because we're getting pushed out. We're getting pressured on the point, so that, you know, we're starting our offense further away than we want to. So that next pass is further away. And so you just don't get that same continuity. We've got to do a better job. That starts with coaching, and obviously the players are the one that are playing, so we've got to do a better job of that. Other teams like to enter it into the wing, you know, along – well, I'm saying wing like everybody knows what a wing is, okay, the side, and your first pass to initiate your offense. Instead of catching it about free throw line extended, we're catching it above the three-point line extended. Those passes are now, the next pass is just a little bit further. And so we haven't handled the pressure as well as we need to. And it doesn't show up in every game, but it does against the Arizonas.
Yeah, and this weekend I thought both games, because the past few games before this weekend, the ball movement had improved. Ball was getting stuck a little bit this weekend.
It got stuck. Yep, it got stuck. And when we're at our best is when we're moving the ball. It was just one of those weekends. I mean, yeah, we're disappointed. We've got to go look and watch and see why. But you know, it's not like it's a long season, you know, and people like to overreact. They probably overreacted when we'd won 8 in a row before we took this trip. Yep. And then now we just had a little lull. You know, we had a downturn, and now we've got to turn it back, you know. And that's what happens the Nets just lost their 8th straight game, you know, and they were predicted to win the NBA championship. So it happens within a season. So what you have to do is you have to really look and see why, and then work to correct it.
Not long to correct things here. Is believed tomorrow on Tuesday, right, when this airs, Tip-Off Tuesday. But we'll probably be on a plane and heading to Pullman and then play at noon on Wednesday. And that's a good team over there in Pullman, Washington State.
It is a good team. Yeah, they have a couple of elite players. You know, they don't play a deep bench. They play basically 6 players, and they all play 35 to 40 minutes a game. And so what they do is they've developed a great synergy. I mean, they really know each other well. They know what they can do. And then, you know, is it Clarice? I don't know. They're 2 walkers, Charisse and Clarice.
Charlize and Crystal's the older one. The point
guard.
Yeah.
So Charlize is one of the elite players in the country, and just really, really, really good. Their center, Bella, has developed into a really nice post player. They've really done a good job in developing her. So, yeah, it's a good team. They're solid defensively. they run really good stuff, and then you have a couple of elite players. So that's going to be a tough win.
Then you got the Beavers twice later in the week.
Yeah, man, alive. How about the Pac-12?
Yeah,
every
tough.
game. I mean, you're talking, and the Beavers are struggling too. They just went down to the desert and lost a couple as well. So it'll be, I think, for the first time since I've been here. You might check that out. That one or the other of us, or both, have not been ranked. Now, we still are right now. My guess is with 2 we might not be. But since I've been here, and this is my 8th season here, I think one or the 2 of us have been ranked in every single one of our matchups. So it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, well, by the time this airs, we'll know. It should be coming out here at 10 a.m., and we're before 10 a.m. Here getting this. We got back late. Coach was kind enough to come in early and get this done, and we appreciate it. You got film to watch today, don't you?
Got a lot of film to watch. On us, number one. I always worry about us more than I worry about the opponent. And then, obviously our next opponent. Yeah, we've got a lot to do. You hate to get too far ahead. So I haven't seen Washington State other than, I'll watch them once in a while on TV, but I'm not taking notes and really looking at what they're trying to do. So, yeah, today's a big day for that. We have a day off from practice, so it gives me lots of time to do it.
Yeah.
And also be here with you fellas.
Yeah. He's always fun.
Yeah.
He's getting the thumbs up over there. You can't see that on camera. But
it's kind of fun. We should tape what we talk about before this taping. Now, that would get ratings.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, we get real.
Oh, we do. We do. We do. Well, you know what? I saw this sweatshirt hanging up. Ohana, and so I grabbed it. I said, I'm wearing this. I know it's a football thing, but it's family. And I know, 8-game winning streak, and some of the fans, you're going crazy over this. And it's 2 games. You got to get it right, and hopefully you will this week. But it is all about family, and that includes you, the fans.
Absolutely.
We're all a family, and we all need to come together. And this is, when you have adversity, this is when you come together as a family. Hopefully that happens. It will.
No,
happen.
I think they prefer to just throw darts.
Oh, okay. Well, some of them. Some of them, I know.
Right? I mean, I think you're absolutely right. And this is a good group of kids. They're trying the best they can.
Yep.
We are as well as as coaches, and you are as a broadcaster. I'm sure there are nights when it's hard to make us sound good on that radio. Joey Mack, you know what I'm talking about too. It's just, isn't it funny though, the ebbs and flows, and we talked about before the game, and you guys might end up cutting this, I'm not sure, but no, seriously, about a month ago, the men's basketball team, they couldn't score, they had issues, and Coach Altman didn't know what he was doing, and now look at him. I mean, it happens. It happens.
Yep.
It's part of the cycle of the season, and you just try to continue an upward trend. And guess what? Every once in a while, you miss your step and you drop back, but then you just keep climbing, and that's what we're in that phase right now. We took a hit this weekend, or we feel sorry for ourselves, or we can get ourselves back up and let's play better on Wednesday.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, sometimes fans, you forget, I say this all the time on the air, the other team, those athletes who are recruited and they get full rights, they're good players too. Yeah. It's competition. That's the way it works. Coach, hey, thanks, buddy. Appreciate
my pleasure.
You coming in.
My pleasure.
All right, there you go.
Kelly
Graves. Is he great or what? He gets it.
Well,
he gets it.
We're sitting here talking as it's playing back, and we're talking about, okay, which clip are we going to use on social media, right?
Yeah.
Like to take fans kind of inside the show a little bit. Like we're talking about which clip's going to be used on social media. And Coach makes jokes like, that would get ratings if we played the other stuff and
the off-camera stuff,
But fans the coaches are so passionate about it. Like that's why you and I feel like, Terry, have such great conversations with these guys because they're so passionate, and we're basically just paid fans.
Yep. That's exactly right. That's what I say too.
And it's just such a cool thing to be able to talk to them, and I gotta say, so sneak peek, I think the clip that was my favorite was him taking us to basketball school, and talking about how important is it that the pass is deep in under the basket instead of pushed out forward toward the high post, right? I mean, that changes things.
Yeah, the offense is getting pushed out too far is what he's saying to start the offense. That's supposed to be a little bit closer to the basket. These coaches know what they're doing. The players are given all that they need to do. It's execution.
Yeah.
And, sometimes it takes a while. There were
It does.
stumbles with Sabrina Ruthie Satu, that group too. And this team maybe is taking a little bit longer. Of course, COVID situation last year. They need some reps, and that's why they're playing a lot of games.
Right.
And the more reps they get, hopefully the better they will be. And we saw what happened last year in the NCAA tournament, and hopefully that will come up here. But
I couldn't help but laugh, though. So I was running audio, right, during you guys' chat. And Coach just looks at me and goes, "Yeah, remember what that was like for you a few months ago doing the men's games?" And I just laughed.
Yeah, it
is.
is.
True.
There's ebbs and flows of a season.
Well, and so those of you who've been with us now for the entire show, you heard me ask Coach Altman about the ebbs and flows of an entire season. Well, the reason I did that was because of what Coach Graves said on Monday.
Yeah.
You know, I'm stealing that from Coach Graves, and I don't feel sorry about it one bit.
Yeah,
because it's true.
And there's ups and downs, and what team regroups, you know, it's tough. I mean, Arizona, for example, they did. They got beaten by Stanford. Now, they only have to play Stanford once, and Oregon has to play Stanford. But what an opportunity. If they end up tied, they're tied for second in the standings. If they end up tied, Oregon's going to have an opportunity. Arizona and Stanford only play once.
Right.
If Oregon picks off Stanford next weekend and they end up tied, there's the tiebreaker.
Right.
So, you know, they're tied for second. They're doing fine. All right, we got to take a break, don't we?
We don't.
We don't.
We're almost done.
Oh, I thought we had to take a break.
No, you're just.
What do you want to talk about
anyway? You're just ready to get on a plane. You're flying tonight.
Yeah, we're flying out. I forget what time. 6 o'clock, I think. Here soon. I hope. I better look. I'll look as soon as we're done.
We do the show live. For those of you listening on the radio or on the podcast, we do the show live from 2:30 to 3:30. Part of the reason we do that is to accommodate traveling, just for such a reason. And here we are.
We're trying to charter again. So, but
boy,
after that charter to Arizona,
I'm just glad that you guys are going to get there.
Yeah, we're going to get there.
You guys are going to get there.
Get there quick getting ready. I think they're heading over to Beasley Coliseum, get some shots up.
Yeah.
They already practiced here today at Matthew Knight Arena. Get some shots up, get a good night's sleep, have some breakfast, go over and win, and get on the plane and head home.
And then it's Corvallis, 8 o'clock Friday for Oregon women's basketball, and then 1 o'clock against the Beavs at home at Matthew Knight Arena on Sunday. It's a big weekend.
And what Dana said. Fans, men and women, a lot of games, and you make a huge difference.
And we should note that they were talking about this in the interview, and the women actually are ranked still. 24th,
ranked 24th.
In the AP poll and 25th in the coaches poll. So what Coach Graves was talking about, it's still true that the one side of the rivalry for Oregon State ranked.
Yeah, and still number 13 in the net.
Yeah.
I mean, they're in good shape. Now, you got to keep winning. There's still a lot of games left. You still have, now that the UCLA game is scheduled, even though it's non-conference, but it still will count in the net. That, you got to get it done. That's next Wednesday, by the way, at 4 o'clock at Matthew Knight Arena. But you got to get wins. You got to get wins, and then look up and see where you are at the end.
And it's the same for the men right now, right? Washington State's above them in the net. That makeup game is going to be played on Monday. Woo! Here we go. 6 o'clock for Oregon men's basketball on Thursday, 5:30 pregame show from Matthew Knight Arena. Terry Jonz getting a flight tonight. Talk to him at 11:30 a.m. Long lunch break with the Ducks tomorrow. See ya.
Go.
Larger than life is truly an understatement in family favorite Clifford the Big Red Dog, now available at Redbox. When Emily discovers her little red puppy has grown 10 feet overnight, she turns to her eccentric Uncle Casey for help. But when a mad scientist tries to capture the playful pup, it takes the whole neighborhood to hide Clifford as they race across the city. Get ready for the incredible laugh-out-loud comedy that is big fun for the entire family. Watch Clifford the Big Red Dog and make it a